Welcome back to On the Road of Recovery. We have John at the McShin Foundation. He is a co-founder. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for asking, Amber. Welcome to McShin, Josh and Amber. We're always glad to have visitors in the house. And your business today is?
We are here to take a tour of the McShin Foundation because, it is one of those recovery places that you don't want to miss. So we had to check it out before we go back to Cleveland, and we are in Richmond, Virginia now. So we wanted to make our stop out here.
Well, I think it's going to be a fruitful visit, because we're very proud of our organization here and everything we've been able to accomplish since we established in 2004, ahead of the curve of most RCOs in America. So I think we've come a long way in that period of time. See, people don't realize McShin was created on a Saturday night, and a bunch of us were sitting around a campfire at a Narcotics Anonymous camp out. We were discussing we need a recovery center. This is in 2004. On Monday, I went to the lawyer, went to my accountant, got an LLC, applied for nonprofit status, and got an office all on the same day.
Wow.
Within 48 hours
Wow.
of the idea sparked at a campfire. So was that divine intervention? Was it compulsion? We didn't obsess on it very long.
Right,
we just got the idea, we did it, and here we are, 17 years later, multi-million-dollar a year nonprofit charity, kicking ass, taking names, showing everybody else how to do it. Richmond, Virginia, as a result of McShin, we have 5 RCOs in this one community that are all good quality, simple, authentic run RCOs. The Richmond has over 1,000 sober beds. 500 are accredited by VAR and NAR. We have amazing capacity here. They were going to build another jail here, but they didn't build it. Now the county's going to build a detox center instead of a jail. You want to talk about advocacy, the effectiveness of it? We are pioneers in the modern recovery movement as we know it today. And most people can't think back to 2004, but back then there was only 3 major pathways to recovery, 12-step based. And if you and I have a book right over here that SAMHSA published, and it even spells out Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and faith-based organizations. So we established before the explosion of the phrase multiple pathways. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our current multiple pathways are what we used to call harm reduction pathways. So there's a lot of exciting changes taking place, many of which have good pros and good cons. But we're very proud in the fact that we can engage new folks and actually give them the hope that they need, that they can stop using drugs, and not only lose that desire to use drugs, but find a new way to live. And when I use the word drugs, I'm talking all substances that you can get high from. So I believe in, yes, substance use disorders, but also, addiction. So addiction's not a bad word for me. I embrace it boldly and honorably. I did get clean in 1982 and been very well grounded daily since then. So I have what you call a lot of institutional knowledge, and that's one of the core elements of what we bring to this organization. I have extensive entrepreneurship experience, mainly because I was in the contractor for 30 years. So we bring a lot of value to this organization. You'll see it when you walk around. Before I say too much more, though, I do want to bring something to your attention. I came into my office this morning and I had this folder laying on my desk. So I just want to read to you what it is and who it's from. It's from the Commonwealth of Virginia, our General Assembly, which is our state government. And it's a House Resolution number 738 that they just enacted in our past General Assembly special session this summer as our state divided up the COVID relief fund, what they were going to do with it, of which $10 million they have allocated for the Virginia Association of Recovery Residences, of which McShin is the founder of in this state.
Wow.
We were the ones that brought accredited housing to Virginia, amongst other things such as CAPRIS accreditation. But the resolution reads as follows, and this speaks volumes for our journey over the last 17 years. Commending the McShin Foundation, it says, agreed by the House of Delegates, August 3rd, 2021, whereas the McShin Foundation, a recovery community organization providing individuals in the Richmond area with peer-based recovery support services, has been an invaluable resource to many for the past several years, and whereas recognizing a service gap in their community, John Shenholster and Carol McDade founded the McShin Foundation in 2004 to help individuals seeking treatment for substance use disorders have greater access to the care and resources they need. And whereas, based on the model of a recovery community organization, RCO, the McShin Foundation originally operated out of 2 offices in the basement of Hatcher Memorial Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. And whereas the McShin Foundation has grown over the years and today oversees over 10 recovery residences, various recovery programs, and a 15,000 square foot recovery community center that is open 365 days per year. Now, what's so special about this is they use incredible language. They have a fairly comprehensive understanding on what peer support services are, the providers are, what recovery community organizations are, what recovery residences are. These folks are educated. I have had contacts and relationships with these policymakers now for 20 years. People in recovery, authentic people, have been advocating to not only reduce stigma, provide services, but educate our policymakers. Just think if all 50 states, state government, had a comprehensive understanding of what was taking place in their states. Many do. I'm quite sure we're not the first person to get a state resolution from their state government. And I expect a lot more will be coming forward. So it's great that you're capturing recovery community organizations, recovery community centers, leaders in this space. That's fabulous. I'm very proud of you for that, because that's a project all in itself. And I know how hard recovery projects are. But as we move forward as a nation, I want to be very clear. The future of recovery lies with those of us with lived experience in the space that are dedicated and committed to providing these services, reducing stigma, advocating. Now is not a time nationwide for any of us to back up, let up, or back down. Now we have to even go forward with even more vigilance than ever before. Remember, we're fighting the forces of what I call evil. And the evil is the special interest groups that currently dictate policy to our politicians. And whether it's by design or just the nature of the beast, or this is the way America is, that's for historians to establish down the road. But all I know is recovery is the solution for addiction, period. And the best providers of recovery are those with lived experience, period. We got a lot of work to do. Peer engagement, authentic peers, that's the solution. So as you go through McShin today, you're going to meet a lot of cool people. You're going to meet a lot of new people, 30, 60, 90 days clean. And they got an edge on a lot of folks, because they got the McShin model. They got an authentic peer model. So we're embedding in our folks, not everybody, but a lot of our people. We know inside each and every one of us is a hope dealer trying to get out. So we start feeding that hope deal the day they get here. You got Rob showing you around, great example. Wasn't long before he started calling himself the grateful one, you know. He got gratitude right away. We love Rob, but we got many folks like Rob. So, you know, simple works, recovery works. And you know, this is a new day for America. You know, these videos you are doing are going to be part of our history. These videos are going to inspire many, you know, whether you know it or not. I know it's not easy trudging along in what do you got, an RV, and
Yeah.
I'm quite sure you're spending your own money, and this is part of your recovery purpose. You know, we all got a purpose. We all have a specialty in this space, and apparently yours and Josh's to ride around and capture history and capture the moment. And I just think that's fabulous. Brings tears to my eyes, and I can really feel, you know, the love, the passion, the commitment you two are putting into this. You know, I'm an instant judge of character. I've become really good at it, and I know, you know, quality, sincere, spiritual hope dealers when I get around them, and you two are definitely those people. So as much service as we've done to this community, you're doing that same service, and there's many others. I got a case of books today, for example, from a recovery person found purpose in prison. This is my third book this week I've gotten from 3 different people. So, you know, we got stories to tell. We need to tell those stories. We need recovery to be the epidemic, not addiction. And this is how we do it. We be loud and proud. We be vocal. We don't have to be mean, you know, but we have to be persistent and consistent. So that's just a snapshot, you know, and as people view this video, you know, I hope that inspires them, you know, to find their purpose. Because once you find your purpose, that's the new way to live. Think about it. We all spent time in active addiction. We were all very toxic at one time. All we could focus on was using and finding ways and means to get more. It's hard to shake that. But with this newfound purpose, it's easy to shake that. You know, that's why I like that famous phrase from a wonderful fellowship, that any addict can stop using drugs and lose that desire to use drugs and find a new way to live. And it's that purpose is a new way to live. And it can happen simultaneously. As you get involved with your purpose, whatever form of service work it is, there's many, many different forms of service work. That's what keeps us from returning to active addiction. And, you know, you never have to use it again. You never have to be alone again. And I don't care what your drug was, whether it be alcohol, a legal prescribed substance, over-the-counter substance, or an illegal substance. It don't matter, you know. To me, it's all the same, you know. The disease is a disease. The illness is an illness. We all have a past. We all have a present. We all have a future if you live. And, you know, let your future be one of purpose. Real simple stuff. It's not complicated. Mm-hmm. You're going to get what you get when you do what you do. You know, both of you folks are doing well today. You're clean today. And I would bet money you're doing today what you did yesterday. So should tomorrow get here, you'll be equipped to deal with it. You don't ever want to forget that. And I don't ever want to come across as somebody who has it made, because I don't. I promise you I have a relapse in me. I'm just not trying to go there. So, you know, I like where I'm at today. I think if you need recovery, you're going to like where you're going to get to if you find recovery. And once you find true recovery, you won't want to go back. It's real simple stuff. You know, I'm honored, blessed, and delighted that you were to pop into my office today from Cleveland, Ohio, catch me on the way out as I travel to Minnesota. You know, God forbid anything happened to me. You'll have the last known interview of John Shinholzer, so I hope it's a good one. Any questions for me? Any thoughts or comments?
I think that was just so beautifully said. I'm very excited to take the tour around McShin, and I think you explained it so well. So, I mean, everything that you said was just awesome. So thank you.
You're quite welcome. And just be mindful when you walk around. This didn't happen overnight. I mean, it took us several years to get this off the ground. Yeah. And I was still painting houses and buildings as we were standing up McShin. You know, wow. Remember, we're a charity.
Right.
We didn't have funding when we started. You know, me and my wife, this is our efforts right here. You know, and you know, my first 3 years, I spent my life savings putting this organization together. Wow. And you know, from day one, I always told my wife, I told me, and anybody come around me, I said, look, this is one of those situations where if it doesn't make it, then it was my will. Mm-hmm. But if it makes it, then it's got to be a higher power's will. And I think you'll see the evidence in the higher power around here. And we are fortunate. I mean, I think We have 12 houses right now. We have a 13th under construction. We're building a brand new house for handicap accessibility. You know, this is how it happens. You know, change don't come quick and easy, although I think it should have, but it didn't. You know, so we've done a lot, but I tell people every day, my best work is in front of me. I don't think I've done my best yet. So I'm excited to know that I personally feel like I got my best work in front of me. So I'm excited about that because I see how good we've done. I can't wait to see how good we can do. And everything I said is our story, and people viewing this, you want that to be your story too. Absolutely. You know, I mean, you want recovery to be your story. You want that new way to live to be your story. Repeating where you come from over and over, you don't want that to be your story.
Right, right.
So this little segment, Road to Recovery, what's it called?
On the Road of Recovery.
On the Road of Recovery, you know, this segment has a variety. It has recovery content, it has personal content, it has victory content, it has recovery community organization content, recovery community center content.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of those full service videos. So, anything else? Am I leaving anything out? Missing anything?
I think you covered everything and more. And you and your wife and this whole place you're an inspiration. Thank you so much for taking the time out today. That was.
Pleasure's all mine.
I'm excited to go take the tour.
How about it?